Hello, everyone. I am Russell Clay, and this is Week 7 CFL picks. Woo! We're 7 weeks in. NFL is almost here. College football is almost here. Not that that's relevant to DFS purposes, but I know I'm excited. But we are lucky enough to have CFL for a few more weeks to sort of bridge the gap for us. So, you guys know the story at this point. 7 weeks in, let's get rolling on this 4-game slate. Um, as far as this British Columbia Winnipeg game, over under 52, Hamilton, Winnipeg favored by 3.5. You definitely like the quarterback here for Hamilton. Jeremiah Masoli, Luke Tasker. You definitely like those plays. Obviously, cash game viable with their prices. Masoli, only 8,700, coming off 391 passing yards last week. He's sort of inconsistent, but at the same time, at his price, his floor can be a little lower and still be a pretty good value there. So I really like him, Tasker, and then I like his buddy Terrence Tolliver there for 6,400. Had 37 receiving yards and a touchdown last week. Should be in a more prominent role as he works himself back to health. In terms of Winnipeg, Andrew Harris minus or 7,400 for him. Arguably the best option at running back this week. Shows super consistency. Didn't get the receiving yardage or receiving role last week, but did run for 22 rushing attempts, 127 rushing yards, and a touchdown. So that's certainly positive and something we're looking at in a positive light. So I'm excited about that. And I think you should be expecting 16 to 20 DK points, much like you've seen from Harris pretty much all season long. So I am excited about that. If you're looking for a passing option from Winnipeg, Jace Davis is the guy. Just battling injuries right now. They really can't figure anything else out. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, Winston Dressler, breakout game for the season. Darrell Adams has been playing well, but they're both out this week. Ryan Smith already on IR, so there's not many options for this team left. Jace Davis, 5,300. I really like that. I think he's going to get quite a few targets, even if he's not the all pro, all purpose weapon that we're looking for. British Columbia versus Montreal, over under a 52, spread of 1.5. Jonathan Jennings just coming out crushing in the last 2 weeks, over 37 DK points in each of the last 2 games, rushing touchdown, over 30 rushing yards each week, over 300 passing yards each week, and has thrown 3 passing touchdowns each of the last 2 weeks. So just monster numbers he's putting up right now. Obviously facing 2 of the weaker defenses, so that could be a factor. Really struggled early on in the year, didn't have much going, so it is something to keep in mind, but at 8,900, I think he's a pretty reasonable value. In terms of Duron Carter, 9,300, finally getting it going. 2 weeks over 26 fantasy points, DK points, that is. One above 115 receiving yards in each of the last 2 weeks. And he got 1 receiving touchdown. So certainly has that upside. We've seen him be a dominant wide receiver in this league before. And I think he's back to that. So 9,300 is still 1,500 to 2K difference off of the top options there. So I really like that as sort of a mid-tier 2, but still priced up option for Carter. So I do like him quite a bit. For tournaments, Nick Lewis, Sean Gore, same deal. Nick Lewis, obviously the older possession receiver, but he does have a pretty nice floor. And for 6,100, if he can get in the red zone or get in the end zone there, I really like him. 3 games with at least 8 receptions this year, so I really like that as well. Sean Gore is probably the more upside heavy guy. He has two 100-yard receiving games already this year. Seems to be the big play threat for BC, and if Jennings can get it keep it going. I mean, Gore's a great stacking option with him, and he's also a good standalone if you're not using Jennings. So values on both sides there. The other guy there that kind of emerged last week, or the last 2 weeks, I suppose, Brian Burnham. Not related to Bo Burnham, I don't think, but maybe I'll have to check on that. 5,700, obviously intriguing. If Jonathan Jennings is a guy you're looking at, or you're interested in this BC lineup, that's definitely someone that I'm looking at as a tournament guy and as a value. Only 5,700 for a guy who's had 100 receiving yards in each of the last 2 weeks. Not many receivers can say that, so definitely like that. It might be a little fluky, but I think it's worth the risk at 57. Saskatchewan at Calgary. Calgary favored by a big 13-point margin, one of the biggest we've seen, potentially the biggest we'll see all season. Bo Levi-Mitchell, 10-3, but such a high floor, over 25 DK points in each of his last 4 appearances. Once again, should be easy pickings against this Saskatchewan defense. Calgary's at home. Obviously mentioned the big favorites. Bo Levi-Mitchell should really get the passing game going. I'd be shocked if he doesn't. That said, Naaman Roosevelt, 9K, sort of in that same Duron Carter tier. They are priced similar. I view them similarly. I like Roosevelt in terms of floor. I think he has a really solid role in this offense and has been playing tremendously. Already 3 100-yard receiving games this season. Just reeling it in, really showing off that athleticism and ability. So I like that quite a bit. Someone I'm definitely going to be firing off there in all formats. You get to the tournaments here, it gets a little questionable. Jerome Adams, obviously not the highest upside for a running back, but 7,100, going to get you between 14 to 17 fantasy points. It seems that's where he's solidifying himself. A nice role, obviously didn't get many carries last week, but that receiving game has really buoyed his value here. If you can get in the end zone, obviously you like that. 7,100, not bad. Not bad for running back. Bakari Grant, 5,900. Been a pretty consistent option. Not your highest upside. I'd still prefer Sean Gore at this range, but I'm okay with this. He had 5 receptions for 60, at least 5 receptions and at least 60 receiving yards in each of his last 3 games, and he scored a touchdown last week. So he does have that upside. Obviously on a booming offense. So I think if you like Mitchell, you could potentially throw Grant in there as a tournament guy. And Michael Dyer, I'm pretty excited about him. He's our last crossover, or most recent, I should say, crossover from NFL college football, sort of potentially getting an opportunity here. 10 touches last week, 4.8 yards per carry on eight carries. He got 38 yards there. So I think that's promising. I mean, he's only 4,100, could have a pretty decent role. I mean, Curtis Steele is out, so it's going to be all him, is my theory. Saskatchewan's going to be struggling. They need some playmakers. He could be that guy. Obviously has the talent. We'll see if he can put it together. I like him as a tournament play at 41. Edmonton and Ottawa, Darrell Walker and Darius Bowman, obviously the stars of the show here. Both priced up. Bowman 10.8, Darrell Walker 10.9. Super expensive, but at the same time, I think it's worth it. You look at that over under 58, Ottawa favored by 2.5. That's a big over under. So I like it. I think you can throw Mike Riley in there in a tournament and potentially stack him with Walker and Bowman. I think that's a high upside move, but at the same time, you probably just want to stick to. I like Bowman play this week. I think people are pretty much going to be off of him and on Walker because he's produced obviously those 149 plus receiving yardage games, or 148. He has 4 games above 148 receiving yards this year. So that kind of gives you a glimpse into what we're looking at here. Darrell Walker, obviously an awesome play, but I'm going Bowman this week. John White, Monster play, 7K. Love that play for Edmonton. This offense is stacked. He has at least 15 DK points in 4 of his last 5 in 2016, and he has at least 4 receptions in every game. That role is consistent. Oh, we like that for running back. Obviously, he's got some skill. 7K. I think he's my favorite for top running back of the week. So I think we're firing away with this Edmonton offense pretty confidently here. In terms of Ottawa, I'll throw one guy out there. Ernest Jackson at 6,600 has at least 49 receiving yards in each of his last 3 games. Well, he's not too flashy. He does have a solidified role, so you do like that. If he does reel in a touchdown, you're obviously hitting value at 66. That's super cheap for a wide receiver that potentially has a solid role in an offense. So I think that's what we're looking at here. If Henry Burris starts again, he clearly wanted to go to Jackson while he was in there. And I think that's what we're going to be looking at again this week. So that's pretty much the wrap up. I think, again, there's some decent cash options here. Andrew Harris and John White are the main running backs this week. I think they're both really solid options and options in all formats. So keep that in mind. Put that feather in your cap. Go win some money for me and go win some tournaments. So have fun with it. Thanks for tuning in. As always, check out dailyfantasycafe.com. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter at Russell J. Clay. If you don't want to do that, I guess you can mute and block me. Either way, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate that. Give us a comment in the comments down there. And as always, check out our awesome tools and content on the site.